All right, dear students, thank you so much for your patience. Let's get started finally on today's webinar. As you know, the topic is Government Ethos, Big Data and Analytics. Learn why it matters and why you need a master's degree in it. Dear students, for all those students, in fact, who are joining us just now, please make yourselves familiar with the Q&A section that we have for you today. That's right. I'm sure lots of you are already buzzing with questions. So do go ahead and share your questions with us in the Q&A section, and one of our esteemed panelist members will be happy to answer it. We have a very exciting webinar planned for you, and we will get started on our presentation on this topic, after which we will go on to our live question and answer audio round, where your questions will be taken up and the faculty members will be answering all your queries. So without any further delay, let's get started. We have Professor Parimal with us, and he will be the one who will be shining some light on today's topic. As you all know, we will be discussing about government ethos, big data and analytics. Learn why it matters and why you need a master's degree in it. Professor Parimal has studied international relations and public policy from Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. He has worked with several international organizations such as ILO and Rosa Luxemburg Foundation. He is also a columnist with newspapers and web portals, writes on effects of public policy and on politics and society at large. He also appears on TV news channels and is a part of all the prime-time discussions on this topic. Dear students, please allow me to welcome Professor Parimal in today's webinar. And sir, now it's over to you.
Thank you, madam, and good evening to one and all. I once again welcome all of you in this webinar on MSc Public Policy, in which we will understand why it matters to learn about government ethos, big data and analytics, and why students need a master's degree in it. MSc in Public Policy is being commenced under School of Public Policy of MIT World Peace University, and it is being mentored by MIT School of Government. Today, the buzzword in all corners of the world is good governance. All the governments, they are promising and trying to usher in an era of good governance, wherein the emphasis is on participation of people in policy making, in framing the policies as per the laws of the country, and making all the policies inclusive and sustainable on their own. The governments across the world today are depending on policy experts to create such policies and for their implementation and evaluation. Earlier, for government policies, it was the people's representatives, that is the MLAs, member of parliaments, and administrators, that is the IAS officers, secretaries, they were considered as crucial, critical. However, the third aspect that is being added into government policy now is experts in different domains, which are being called as public policy experts, and people's representatives as well as administrators. Both of them are depending increasingly on public policy experts and in different fields. There are public policy experts in health sector, there are public policy experts on employment sector, there are public policy experts on transport, environment, sports, for the public policy on old age people, for the orphans, and what not. You name an arena, and today government is in need of public policy experts. And therefore, this is a field, this is a domain in which there is a great need that is coming up in years to come, wherein central government, state government, different ministries under central government, different ministries under state government, independent bodies like Niti Ayog, Niti Ayog of different state governments, as well as international NGOs, national NGOs, and international organizations like World Health Organization, International Labour Organization, different organs under United Nations, etc. All of them would be increasingly depending on public policy experts to formulate policies, to implement them, and to evaluate them. And with this respect, today it becomes necessary for all the students who want to contribute in terms of formulating policies to study public policy professionally and in a scientific way. With this objective in mind, MIT World Peace University is commencing this program, MSc in Public Policy, from the year 2020. The major features of this program are as follows. The focus is on policy analytics, why policy was required in the first place, how the policy was formulated, how it was implemented, how successful the policy is. For example, take an example of Make in India policy, why it was formulated, how it was implemented, how much successful it was, what were the shortcomings, and how much still is a potential in that policy. It's something that government today needs to know, and it will come on policy experts, the public policy experts, to provide this analysis to the government. And for that, what is required is creative thinking for public policy experts. For implementation of a particular policy, what exactly would be the necessities, what the government needs to do, what the government needs to understand, how government should ensure people's participation, etc. More and more creative ways are being explored at all the levels. And for that, public policy field is coming in more demand. So creative thinking is another feature that is added to this program. Then there is an emphasis on developing quantitative skills. In an era wherein big data is becoming more and more important, and big data is considered to be the most important resource that would be at the disposal of the government, of international organizations, of corporations, etc., the students would be equipped with quantitative skills to know about the quantitative data, to analyze it, and then formulate policies based on that analysis. Another feature of this program is developing legal framework of legislation, that each and any policy must be backed by legal measures. There has to be legal policy framework which should support any policy framework. Just take an example of the present lockdown to contain spread of COVID-19. What are the powers of central government? What are the powers of the state government? By which means state government and central governments are supported through the legal framework for implementation of all the measures, the emergency measures that are required for public health and public safety, etc. So any policy that is being formulated under such conditions, either there has to be a law in place, or government has to enact a law and then get it implemented. And another important feature of this program is to study about social, psychological, and behavioral economics. For the success of any public policy, now it is considered very important to understand behavior of society, behavior of different groups in society, and behavior of an individual. And by incorporating these elements, then only any policy can become successful. A very important component of this program, MSc Public Policy, is experiential learning, wherein experts in public policy domain, they will share their experiences with students in classroom, in the field, to share, to let students know how they formulated policy, how they implemented it, what were the difficulties, how they faced the challenges, and how they have created successful models of public policy. The program also comprises of numerous field visits to local institutions such as municipal corporations, to Jilla Parishad, to Gram Panchayat, to know and understand how public policies are being formulated and implemented at that level. The national and state territories are also important features of this program, wherein students could visit important national institutions like NITI-Aayog, how NITI-Aayog support different ministries, how NITI-Aayog chip in formulating policies for different ministries at the national level, at the state level, etc. And also there will be tours to study policy frameworks of some of the important states which are being considered as milestone in terms of policy formulation in India. And then there would be international immersion program based on the payment basis, wherein students could visit important international institutions to understand their role in policy formulation. The program structure of this MSc program is divided into 6 trimesters in 2 years. There would be subjects that wherein students would get trained, skilled, and knowledgeable in different domains of public policy. Along with that, students would go on rural immersion program for 4 to 5 days, wherein students would stay in a rural household to understand how rural households function, what challenges they face, and how they resolve those challenges. Summer internship, field work with NGOs, think tanks, policymakers, policy analysts is an important component of this 2 years program. And then in the sixth and last trimester, there would be internship that would be facilitated with NGOs, think tanks, policy institutions, wherein students would toil with these institutions and work in the domain of public policy making. The most important question is where exactly students will work after completion of this program. And there are so many avenues that are opening up now, as I said initially, that different government organizations, the ministries, along with ministries, Niti Aayog, National Law Commission, Election Commission of India, State Election Commissions, Finance Commission, and many such national and state bodies, they are looking for public policy experts to seek their assistance, expertise in formulating and implementing policies. Apart from that, many corporates and corporate consultancy agencies, they are also in need of services of public policy experts. Then there are international and national NGOs who comprises of experts in different public policy domains, in employment, in economics, in sports, in schooling, etc. And they take their assistance, public policy experts assistance, in formulating projects, formulating policies, assisting governments, evaluating government programs, etc. And academic institutions of repute such as IITs, IIMs, IISCs, etc., they are increasingly now depending on public policy experts to train their own students to help government in public policy domain. And international organizations like World Health Organization, International Labour Organization, International Monetary Fund, different agencies of United Nations, all of them, they basically function through public policy experts. And these are all the vast areas that are now opening up for anyone who is getting professional degree and training in public policy domain. The United Nations SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, it itself requires a lot of public policy experts today. There are 30 Sustainable Development Goals, and United Nations agencies and different governments, they are looking for public policy experts in all these 30 domains, 30 goals of United Nations for sustainable development. And that much is a need today, wherein students can work after completion of such programs as MSc in Public Policy. These are glimpses of some of the organizations that you can see on your screen, wherein students can work after completion of the course. This course at MIT World Peace University is being ably aided and assisted by so many experts like Professor Parshuraman of TIS, Aruna Roy, Babu Matthew, Kirit Shaha, and many such experts who have contributed a lot in public policy domain. And we are having so many professors of practice who have earned name in different disciplines, in different fields, and will be teaching students at public policy, at School of Public Policy at MIT World Peace University. And our in-house faculty members are also experts in different fields. There would be many guest sessions, visiting faculty sessions by the people who have already earned repute in different public policy domain, which would give first-hand experience, the first-hand knowledge of to students about different issues. And then there would be field visits, glimpses of it you can see on your screen. The admission, eligibility and selection process of MSc in Public Policy would be as follows. There would be an admission process. You can see the details of it on your screen. The application would be accepted in a week's time on MIT World Peace University's website now, and there would be PGPET exam, which would comprise of general awareness and aptitude test. The course fee of the program is 1.5 lakh rupees per annum, and then there are scholarships that are available to the students, wherein deserving meritorious students can avail waive off of tuition fees as much as 100%. Just to give you a glimpse of what type of scholarships that are available to the students, Dr. Vishwanath Karad Merit Scholarship is available to the students who are having about 80% marks in their 12th HSC exam and aggregate percentage of in graduation of about 70%. And this scholarship is available to 5% of the approved intake. And then there is one-time scholarship that is available to the students in the first year, to those who are having more than 70% in graduation and 80% in their HSC exam. To know more about our admission process and details of the program, you can get details about our numbers, website, email address from the screen that you can see right on your laptop or on your mobile. And with this, now I hand it over to Suchi madam, and then she will take it forward. Over to you, Suchi madam.
Thank you so much, sir. Dear students, you heard such a detailed presentation on today's topic and such crucial information such as the scholarships available, the eligibility criteria, and really on the Revert program itself, along with the plethora of Industry Connect and all the policy makers who are part of this program. So just so you know, we are accepting applications for this program. This is the MSc in Public Policy program at MIT World Peace University. The applications will be live for this program in a week's time. So you can come back to admissions.mitwpu.edu.in and then send in your applications to this program, and we will get in touch with you as to the next steps. Of course, dear students, I would advise you to be earlier in your admissions process than delay it. The reason is very simple. The earlier you make your admissions applications, allows us to support you and follow up with you as to the next steps. So make sure that you do check back in with us in a week's time for this admissions applications. All right. Dear students, right now is a great time for you to start asking questions in our Q&A section that we have for you today. There's a Q&A section and you can type out your questions on that part, and our esteemed list of panelist members will be happy to answer all your queries. Now, students, you can also see on your screen that we are in fact showcasing a very useful resource. This is a Word document with answers to the most commonly student questions that we have received. And our faculty very sweetly has worked on this document and has written the answers. So if you wish, you can also give that a read, which we are showcasing on our screen right now. All right, so without any further delay, I think let's get started on today's live question and answer round. And for this round, we will have Haridas ma'am with us, as well as Gopal Tamane sir with us. So if I can invite both of you to join us for this round. And dear students, you will be very, very happy to know that apart from Parimal sir, and you heard, the kind of background and exquisite experience that he's bringing with him. But along with him, we have Haridas ma'am, who is an economist, and she is also the alumni of IIM Calcutta. And of course, we also have Gopal sir with us, and he is also a UPSC rank holder. So really, you will not have better panel for you to ask all your queries and clear all your doubts. So I highly recommend that do ask your questions. Okay, so our first question is from a student who is asking us, I want to know the fee structure for the MSc program in big data.
Madam Suchi, thank you. This is Dr. Haridas this side. As far as, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. As far as big data is considered, we are talking today about MSc in public policy as such. And this big data is a tool for public policy experts. And public policy is coming up like anything. Many times I counsel many of the students saying that this engineering or medicine and all these are saturated as of now. So what will come up in next 10 years is more with public policy or more with law and all these things. What the country needs today is the experts from public policy, experts from law, and the data analysis or data analyst. That's what actually the buzzword as of now. But big data is just a tool for the public policy experts. Like public policy is much more larger than that of using just a tool. So that's the reason I also wrote even in the Q&A section also there, saying that instead of concentrating on a particular tool, it's better we concentrate on a larger portion of that. And anyhow, big data analysis will be a part of that. The entire structure of MSc in public policy is concentrated on all these things. One is the data analysis, policy analytics, that's what we call this as, sorry, policy analytics, statistics, a bit of mathematics, economics, law, public administration, like all these are the aspects which are a part of this MSc public policy program is. So it's much more bigger than what big data is. That's what I really would like to submit to the candidate here. The fees for this MSc in public policy program is 1.5 lakhs per year. It's 3 lakhs for 2 years as such. And we also have the scholarships, as Professor Parimal explained. We have the scholarship for the meritorious students, even to the extent of 100% tuition fee waiver for both the years. So I suggest that maybe a weeks later, once we open our form link as such, I suggest the candidate should apply first, and our executives will get back to you as such. Over to you, Suchi.
Okay, great. All right. Our next question comes from a student who's asking us, will this program help with the civil service exam preparations?
Uh, this is an interesting question, actually. See, usually what students do nowadays is they complete the graduation and they use next 2 or 3 years for UPSC preparation. They just go to the library and or they just go to some other coaching class as such. Being in MIT, because we are the university as such, we also have the civil service training institution with us. That's point number one, which I would like to make. Number two is usually the UPSC questions are based on the public policy issues, because what will these civil servants do? They help the government to come up with the policy implementation as such, right? So this is the perfect program for all the UPSC aspirants also. I suggest Professor Gopal to add on further to this. Professor Gopal, over to you.
Yeah, ma'am, you very rightly said, with the ecosystem which has been available to the students, the UPSC preparations, as you see, when you go through the syllabus, it demands a understanding of various subjects. And if you see the syllabus, what has been put in this MSc Public Policy, it rightly showcases that vigor into the syllabus. So therefore, the students, while they are doing MSc Public Policy, will also get themselves acquainted with the preparation of UPSC Civil Services preparation. At the same time, the library infrastructure and the MSc Civil Services Training Institution, which offers a large data bank of various years question papers and also the questions which are being taken at the institute every week, will also help students to learn in a big way. Over to you, madam.
Professor Parimal, you would like to add anything to this?
Yes. Dear students, you could see list of eminent visiting faculties on your screen. Many of them are from the civil services background, either retired or currently in the civil services. So even by interaction with them itself would be a great help to any student who is preparing for civil services. Secondly, civil services itself today is more about public policy now, and therefore you find that even in civil services examination now there is more and more focus to find out which students are having proficiency in public policy analysis, evaluation, etc. And that way this course certainly would be of helpful to the students who are preparing for civil services. Over to you, madam.
I just wanted to add 10 seconds, Madam Suchi. See, as long as public policy is considered, this is one particular area where the candidates will be serving the government or the government institutions. Even if you think about where the MSc policy students will be placed, they are more into the government or the government institutions. Professor Parimal was explaining NITI Aayog or ILO, say for example, or IMF, say for example, where all these are the areas where IAS candidates are preferred and the public policy experts are preferred as such. So one good thing is this MSc in public policy along with the USC preparation, that will definitely give an edge over that. Number two is, while pursuing UPSC, whether we will get selected or not is always a $1 million question. I understand each and every candidate puts 100% efforts to that, but there is always one question mark saying that whether I'll be selected or not, because so many crores of people, so many lakhs of people apply for that. So you always have a backup policy. If that happens, is absolutely fine. If not, then you will be placed through this MSc Public Policy, which is equally a good one. It's not that this MSc is a lesser one than the UPSC rank holders and all. The corporates nowadays like KPMG or S&P, so all these people are the one, they always prefer to have the people the public policy. So you always have a backup plan. That's how I always suggest that you should think about your life, saying that if plan A, plan B, plan C, we have to have that. Given the uncertainty now, that is the right way of planning for the life. That's what I just wanted to suggest to all the candidates today. Over to you, Madam Suchi.
Okay, great. All right, our next question is coming from a student who's asking us, why is big data needed for policymakers and how old is this program?
Okay, these are two different questions. How old is a program, and why is the big data is required for the public policy experts? How old is a program is something I'll take it today, and then I'll connect that with the big data as such. See, this MSc in public policy will be the new program which we are going to launch in the month of July, in the month of July 2020 by MIT-WPU University. Even though we are new to this MSc in public policy, please understand we are not new to the education at all. Just to give you a background, this MIT group of institution, it was established in the year 1983. We have a legacy of education of 4 decades as such. Initially, when we started, we just had the engineering schools, but as of now, we have 55,000 plus students studying. We have 72 different programs under us. We are the university as of now. We are one of the top 10 private universities in India. So one of the program which our university runs is MIT School of Government, which is popularly known in all circle as such. The people, those who really wish to be in politics, are the one they take the admission for this particular program. So this MSc in public policy, this is School of Public Policy, of course. This is completely mentored by MIT School of Government, which is already well established and which is well linked with the government and the government machinery as such. So this gives an edge for public policy school as public policy school is considered. So even though it's a new program, so I don't consider this as a new one because we already have all our experts committee on place. We also have the complete syllabus. We also have the complete structure. You talk about the library. So everything is in place. So how old is a program? It doesn't make much sense to that extent. It talks about how experienced we are as far as public policy is concerned. That's how it makes sense. Talking about civil student interview batch, they have secured ranks also. So we have enough experience in that. That's how I really wanted to submit to you. The second part of the question, that why big data is important for the policy makers, is something. Say for example, the implementation of GST. Any policy which is affecting the population that comes under the public policy. So once we are talking about implementation of GST, how are we going to implement it? It has to have the data involved in that, and the entire analysis of that data is the analytics we talk about. That is the data analysis. So as I just mentioned earlier, data analysis is a tool which we use, data analytics is a tool, big data is a tool which we use, and this public policy is much more larger than that of that as such. I request Professor Parimal to carry on with this. Maybe Professor Gopal also can add much more to this, who himself is a UPSC rank holder and he has done a lot of studies in data as well as public policy. Over to you, Professor Parimal.
Yes, thank you, madam. Yes, as Dr. Haridas madam has explained, that anything that affects population, people, it comes under public policy. And today, given the size of our population and population of the world, and given the complexities that are involved in the society, data is something that can be proved to be handy for the government. That government can get access to data, analyze the data, and come up with the right policies. Because when it comes to policy formulation, it is with regard to addressing a right section and delivering it to the right section. Whether that is happening or not, that is something that can be resolved through big data. And that's where importance of data comes in, which is being, of course, aided by technological innovations. Today, technology has become so capable of handling data of this scale. Take an example of Aadhaar. It is based on the process of big data, that today government is able to provide direct financial transfer to so many people because government has that data available with it. And that is something that all the governments today are looking forward to formulate policies. Over to you, Gopal Sarma.
Yeah, surely. Big data over here does play a very big role, as we see like many of the schemes which are being like implemented by the government. Like to give an example, like for example, the JAM Trinity which is there, that is the Jandan, Aadhaar and mobile. So this is one of the very successful model which government of India has implemented in a big way. So very seamlessly, like money gets transferred into the Jandan Aadhaar account. There is the mobile access where you have the government app which is available to you, and the Aadhaar, as sir has just mentioned. You can take other examples like weeding out of the extra gas connections which were there, which were being corruptly held by the people. So that is also been done. So generation of data and how effective utilization of that data would be is the big challenge for the government, and that has been effectively dealt by utilization of technology. And here at MSc Public Policy, the subjects which we would be taking in, like that of the statistics which would be, or the regression which would be there, that would really help you to use data for effective policy making. Over to you, madam.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. All right, our next question is coming from a student who is asking us about the scholarship policies that we have for this program and maybe the eligibility criteria for the same.
Yeah, the question goes to Professor Gopal here. Professor Gopal, over to you.
Over here, the scholarship policy which is there, as sir had just put across, that we would be having two types of scholarship. That is one, that is Dr. Vishwanath Karad scholarship, which would be given to 5% of the total strength of the batch. So that would be having 100% waiver of the tuition fees which is there. And the second scholarship which is there, that would be for the meritorious students, which would be available at the first year. Over to you, madam.
Okay, great. All right. Our next question is from a student who is asking us, why did MIT World Peace University start this program of MSc in Public Policy now?
Okay. That's an interesting question. Why now? I just mentioned earlier saying that the demand today is for the public policy experts. The engineering and the medicine is almost saturated. You just think about the current condition now. How many engineers will lose the job? We all know the data. We keep on hearing all these things in the newspaper. So who is at the demand as of now? The people of the public policy, they are in much demand, and this demand will continue for next 10, 20, 30 years. So we being in the education sector, we keep on doing this market research. This is like a corporate, right? So we also keep on doing the market research, and we know the market demand condition as such. So because the market or the corporates and the government on the other side, they require the public policy experts. We being in the education industry, the education sector, not the industry, I'm sorry, education sector, it's our duty to polish those type of the people, and we give it to the required sectors. That's how any education industry works. So that's what is my answer as such. Professor Parimal, you would like to add on anything to this?
Rightly so. That today there is a need, and there is now technology that is also being available, wherein today government is looking after educational institutions to provide them expertise that would help them in creation of creation of public policies. So the onus now is on the universities, on the public educational institutions to create the man-force that could assist the government, and that's why MIT World Peace University think that this is the right time, that India needs such experts in different domain, and therefore there is a need for such a program. Over to you, madam.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on here. See, what is public policy finally? It's a combination of economics, it's a combination of law, it's a combination of statistics, it's also part of the government and the governance and the research as such. So once we are talking about all these aspects put together, that is what is a public policy expert implies, right? So the academic structure has all these areas embedded in this particular program, so which makes the program very strong as such. So because we already have the expertise in all these skill sets, the one which I explained, only thing is we have put it in a basket, in one basket, and we are calling this as a public policy as such. We don't have to reinvent anything as such. That's what is my submission as such. Yeah, over to Professor Gopal, if you would like to add something.
I would just like to bring in some words or some sentences which were been put up by Padma Vibhushan, Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar sir, in his book like Leapfrogging to Pole Vaulting, Creating a Magic of Radical Yet Sustainable Transformation, where he tries to bring us or tries to focus wherein the STEM what we call in, that is the science, technology, engineering and the management courses which are there, that are getting oversaturated, and it leaves out the human dimension, it leaves out that human touch. So therefore what he says that you should start focusing from STEM to STEAM, wherein you bring in that arts, wherein you bring in that humanities component, and public policy, this subject brings in that transdisciplinary understanding, wherein this science subjects and there is the meeting of this science subject with the arts and humanities subject, wherein you are able to understand and develop a culture and the system around the human being, so that you are better able to make your policies. Over to you, madam.
Okay, great. All right. So our next question is coming from a student who is asking us, what is the difference between the MA in Public Policy and the MSc in Public Policy?
Okay, that's one more interesting question which we have. See, usually MA in Public Policy talks about more of theoretical aspects, where MSc, the moment we are using the word science, it talks about more of analytical part of it. By analytical, I mean it's much more quantitative as such. So we were just explaining it, as a part of the presentation too earlier, that any policy making, it has to have enough quantitative backup to that. We are talking about the data analysis part of it. We are talking about the questionnaire preparation. We are talking about the research methodology. So unless until you develop all these things and then you make the public policy as such, that policy is something which is useful for the government as such. If you study only the theoretical aspects, then there is no way that policy will be useful for the government as such. So this is typically the word which we have given, the title which we have given is MSc in Public Policy, which talks about more of a quantitative base, more of a policy analytics aspects will be covered as a part of this. Also, we have a lot of policy appreciation, that's a part of it as such. Over to Professor Gopal to take it further.
Yeah. See, if you see in this course, like MSc Public Policy tries to bring in that scientific vigor. It tries to build up the scientific inquiry in public policy making. So as discussed earlier, like big data is now the new oil for all of us. And if we are very much accustomed and if you are very much well versed with how to utilize this data, because just having data and we don't know the utilization of data, it is of no use. So therefore, this MSc Public Policy is that right mix, as I said in my earlier question, wherein the scientific part gets fusioned over here with understanding of human aspect. So therefore, the policy actions will be in a good applications once you are having the right data and its applications. If you see the trimester pattern, so in each trimester pattern, there is a project which has been available for the students, and that is a theme-based projects on various sustainable development goals. And over here, the students would be utilizing the data which is available in the public domain for its applications and evolving with a right policy response, wherein the students will themselves be able to have a suggestions to the government by making a policy appraisal. So therefore, making use of data is one of the very much critical aspect of a policy expert individual, or I would say a professional. Over to you, madam.
Okay, great. All right, we have another student question from for us. As the course is new, how are you going to look after our placements? Ma'am, I think we lost you there for a few seconds.
I think his connection here. Yes. See, the Professor Gopal, are you there? Okay, fine. I'll take that particular. You're on mute, Professor Gopal.
Yeah, I'm there. See, with respect.
Yeah, you would like to take that question on placement?
Yeah. Sure, madam. Sure. On this part of this placement over here, when we are talking about what would be the career prospects and what would be the placements for us, as it's the new program, I would just like to bring you back to the understanding, saying that if this School of Public Policy, which is there, even if it is new, we are being guided by the ecosystem of School of Government, and School of Government ecosystem does provides us with our understanding and our connect with various government organizations, with various agencies. So you can take, as I said in the Professor Parimal did talked about the career prospects in the government organizations like that of the Competition Commission of India, or into the RBI or SEBI, TRI, or with various national and international NGOs, or with the various national and international organizations. So over here, we need to focus on our understanding that how good you perform during your internships, which is available during the trimesters, also at the end of the year, and also the end trimester for complete 2 months, which is available. So it is you who would be making yourself much more available into the plethora of institutions or the work which you will be doing, and that will place you and that will bring you into the focus of these various agencies. Over to you, madam.
Yeah, I just wanted to add 10 seconds here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. See, as far as MIT is considered, so-called placement is not at all a problem as such, because of the legacy of the institution, which is already, which is already existing there. We have engineering, we have management, we have School of Government, we have our design institution, where it's well known in the corporate as well as the university is well known even in the government agencies or government sector as such. So calling the companies, calling the NGOs, or getting connected to the government institutions is not at all an issue as far the university is considered. As Professor Gopal said, getting selected is something which really people have to think about on the other side. But this program is something where the way it's designed is completely with what exactly is required in the public policy experts, with the public policy expert. That's what is completely the way we have made this particular program. We have designed this particular program. So I don't think any issues with the placement will happen, even though the program is new. I'm very confident that we can place all our students as such. So that's one. And second thing is, the university also has this strong central placement cell, which is supported for us. Like they always support us, and the complete cell is supported by the university as such, and they also support all the other units as such. I request Madam Neeta possibly if she can throw some light on the central placement cell, the way we work.
Thank you, Haridas ma'am. So the Center of Industry Academia Partnerships, which is a central team, supports all the schools for training, development of students throughout the years. It's not just in the placement year, it's throughout the year. So it basically starts from first year itself, whatever inputs are required from resume building, etc. And specific trainings in hours of need, as well as there is an internship cell and there's a placement cell separate. So there's a central team which is going out there to get in touch with all kinds of companies, NGOs, government organizations, people who've not heard of us or have not visited our campus, make sure they visit us, make sure they know about the kind of courses we have. So the CIF team actually has a lot of good contacts, and hence, and since our university is almost 40 years old, 40 years young, I should say, we've got actually already quite a large group of organizations, from government organizations to corporates and consultancy agencies, to some international organizations as well, who are in touch with us. And as you can see on the slide as well, some of the prospective organizations, in fact, Dr. Haridas, who was just talking, personally has a lot of connections over there as well. So in fact, our CEO of the CIF team himself has been, in his words, a government servant, and has worked in strategic roles for policy making, or initially assisting people who were policymakers, and those kind of roles he's taken himself. So I think our assistance for placement is always 100% at our university, and I don't doubt that this course also the team will be able to not help at all. It will happen. Thank you, Dr. Haridas.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Suchi. Over to you.
All right. Okay. So I would like to once again focus now on what the call to action for our students should be for this program. So I believe, dear students, in a week's time, you can come back to the admissions.mit-wpu.edu.in and find this program if you're interested in it. This is the MSc in Public Policy program at MIT World Peace University. And you can find this program and send in your admissions applications to us. And we will get back in touch with you as to the next steps. Now, of course, as part of the admissions procedure, Haridas ma'am, if you can quickly lay out the step-by-step process of the entire admissions procedure for this program.
Yeah, see, as far as the selection process is considered, the potential students, those are interested in public policy, they have to apply online. Of course, the link will be opened in a week's time on our website. We already have created School of Public Policy on the website, so you can check all the details there. And once you apply, our executives will definitely call you back. But we have the examination, which we call this as PG-PATE examination, which is the entrance examination as such. So once you give this particular examination, PG-PATE examination, that will be followed by the personal interview by the panel of experts. So given the condition now, the written examination, which is a PG-PATE I'm talking about, as well as the online examination, both will happen online. Our executives will get back to you with the details of all those things. Based on both the results, the written examination, that's the online examination, PG-PATE, and the personal interview, we will be making the merit list for the program, and the merit list will be displayed on our website. You will receive the information on your through SMS or again on the website too. We make the merit list, and then the course will commence as such. Especially as far as the written examination is considered, we are looking for like any other competitive examination, a bit of data analysis, inclination, that's aptitude test we call this as. This also has some general knowledge, some logical reasoning, English. So all these are a part of the written examination. And personal interview, we really would like to check that to what extent you are keen on your public policy, pursuing public policy field as such, because we really would like to have some committed students. It's not that, it's not like engineering or medicine, like engineering or other management and all, where you can change the field further. Because the moment you come to public policy, you need to remain in that particular field forever. So you have to be very, very committed. You have to be very, very focused to be in this particular line for next 40, 50 years. So we usually want to check that how committed you are and your basic level of aptitude and all. That's how the examination is conducted as such. Over to Madam Suchi. You want me to add anything else here, Madam Suchi?
No, I think that pretty much was sufficed very well. So, dear students, you heard about the entrance exam as well. Once you send in your applications for this program, please do expect the entrance exam. The whole exam will be conducted online, of course, and it is a multiple choice, a question pattern. So, you heard. And ma'am, do you want to add any last few quick tips for students as to how they can prep up for this exam? Any reference materials that they can refer to or any other helpful tips, basically?
See, as for the tips is considered, this is like any competitive exam, very basic level competitive examination as such. There will be a lot of tools available on Google for checking your aptitude skills or logical reasoning, all this. Like even if you just search logical reasoning questions, you will get a lot of questions. You can practice those questions. The best way is to read the news also every day. Like newspaper is something we always talk about. Of course, you're not getting the hard copy of the newspaper now, but we all are reading it online as such, right? So you need to be well versed with the current affairs. You need to be well versed with basic level maths. You don't have to have a engineering mathematical that level of maths is not required. It's a very basic level aptitude. Like say for example, calculation of rate of interest. Say for example, I'm just giving you one example as such. So those are the typically the type of the examinations as such. Professor Gopal, you would like to add anything for the preparation?
Yes, ma'am. Over here, as you have rightly pointed out, that general knowledge forms a very important part. So students would like to be well versed with what is happening in and around. They should know what is happening in their surrounding. So that is one part. Other part is about the general awareness. So general awareness will include part of history, it would include part of geography, it would include part of polity. So that is the other area which they need to know. Basic mathematics, logical reasoning and aptitude, and basic English, that forms the other areas which students need to be well versed with. And a thorough reading of the NCERT books, a thorough reading of the newspaper will suffice them for their preparation for this entrance examination.
Yeah, having said it, Madam Suchit, this is not a very difficult examination as such. We do understand when once the students they take the admission, we are here to train for all the required things as such. That's what we are looking for. As I said, we are looking for the committed students. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Dear students, such good news coming for you today. You know where to prepare and how to prepare for the entrance exam and the books that you need to refer to. This is a revered program. It may be in its first year, but you can see the kind of stellar faculty members that are part of this program, and it absolutely is a promising program for you to consider. Dear students, I'd like you to now note down the WhatsApp number that we have for you. It's 9881 492 848. That's again 9881 492 848. So this is the number where you can reach us after this webinar is over. In case you have further questions, please do make a note that the admissions link will go live on our website for this program in a week's time. So we do ask you to make a note. For those of you who are passionate about this program, it's a crucial one for you. Please come back to us in a week's time. Check out the MIT-WPU website and go for this program. This is the MSc in Public Policy. Dear students, and to our faculty members and panelists today, thank you so much for joining us in today's live webinar. I wish you a safe stay and please stay indoors, and we will catch you very soon in series 2 of webinars. Thank you.